Hi, I'm Dora Moore, the Louisville Town Clerk. Thank you for taking the time to watch the Town of Louisville's orientation video for board and committee members. Congratulations on your appointment to serve on one of the town's boards or committees. You join more than 50 other volunteers who are giving their time, energy, experience, and commitment to keep our town a great place to live. As Town Clerk, one of my primary duties is to serve and support the town's boards and committees. This short video provides a basic orientation of board and committee functions, your role as board or committee members, the procedures you need to follow, and the responsibilities of our staff. Please know that I am here to assist you with any questions you may have. You can always contact me at townclerk@louisvillenc.net. All but one of our boards and committees are advisory in nature and make recommendations for consideration by the Town Council. The one exception is the Zoning Board of Adjustment. They render quasi-judicial opinions regarding zoning issues. Quasi-judicial proceedings are very similar to court proceedings. Witnesses are called and sworn testimony given. The Board of Adjustment hears the evidence, applies the relevant provisions of the zoning ordinance, and renders decisions in the forms of special use permits, variances, and interpretations of the zoning ordinance. In this orientation, we will focus on the role of our advisory boards and committees. Boards and committees differ by number of members, function, frequency of meetings, and service terms. Each board and committee charter provides guidance on these and other items. All advisory boards and committees have been established by the Council through resolution or ordinance. These documents or charters spell out why the board or committee was created and include some guidance as to council expectations. If you have not already, please review the charter for your board or committee. The charter can be found on the town's website, louisvillenc.net. All advisory boards and committees are often asked to weigh in on rule changes, proposed policy issues, and other matters, as well as make recommendations to the council. Individually, you learn about the issue, speak with residents, explore alternatives, and then, as a committee, provide your recommendation for council consideration. All boards and committees operate using established policies and procedures. A policy and procedure handbook will be made available to you. It can also be found on the boards and committees webpage. If you would like a hard copy, please contact me in the town clerk's office. In addition to what I provide to you as the town clerk, your staff liaison and/or chair will also provide you with additional relevant documents and training specific to your board or committee.
Our next discussion will be about the processes and procedures of boards and committees. I'm Hank Perkins, and I'd like to offer my congratulations on your appointment. We've mentioned our board and committee policy and procedure handbook. When you receive the handbook, please review it as soon as possible because much of what we discuss here is explained in more detail. Included is a signature page indicating that you have read and agreed to these policies. Please sign and return it to the town clerk. Boards and committees are appointed by and report directly to the town council. Communication protocols with individual council members as well as with the council as a whole are outlined in the policy and procedure handbook. Each town-managed board or committee has a staff liaison whose role is to support and help guide you. Unless asked for information or advice, staff will not participate in your board or committee deliberations. And while from time to time your committee or board will make a request from staff, it is important to know that staff does not work for or at the direction of our boards and committees or its members. The primary role of board and committee chairs and vice chairs is to make sure that meetings run efficiently by keeping discussion on point and curtailing or postponing off-topic conversations. The process for electing the chair and vice chair is in the bylaws or rules of procedure of your board or committee. Additionally, each board and committee elects a secretary responsible for recording the actions of your board or committee using an easy-to-use form that is submitted to the town clerk after each meeting. This form also highlights key items your board or committee agreed upon and notes any items that may require follow-up or need to be continued at the next meeting. If any of these positions are of interest to you, check your board or committee handbook for more information on duties and responsibilities. This information can also be found on the town's website on the Board and Committee page. As a board member, some of your main responsibilities include being proactive, thinking about the board and committee related issues and potential agenda items, attending meetings. Full attendance is encouraged. Boards and committees must have a quorum, which is a majority of the members present, in order to meet, to conduct its business, and fulfill its charge. Refer to your board or committee charter for specific attendance requirements. Educating yourself on the issues that come before your board or committee so that you may advocate and make positive contributions to the discussion. Seeking input from others when necessary and serve as an informational resource for your friends and neighbors. As a board member, you have a better understanding of town policies and programs, so you may clear up confusion or misinformation and help get more people engaged in understanding our town. Serving the interests of all of our residents rather than any individual or group interest is your number one priority. Working as a board. The board is granted authority by the town, individuals are not. Being willing to compromise and discuss alternatives. You'll find this may often be necessary to meet the board's charge.
Now for the legal stuff, including open meeting laws, official meetings, social media policy, what to disclose, ethics, and rules of procedure. My name is Bo Houff, and I have served as the town attorney since 1991. We adhere to a number of state statutes designed to assure the public that our town government conducts itself in a way that is legal, ethical, transparent, and within our authority. One of the most important statutes we must follow deals with open meetings, sometimes called sunshine laws. Simply put, the public has the right to be present at all meetings where a quorum is present in order to see how the town operates. All official meetings of public bodies, which include all of the town's boards and committees, must comply with open meeting laws. This means that the public must receive proper notice by the town for all meetings. They must be open and accessible and have recorded meeting minutes that capture all actions taken at the meeting. Because you have been appointed to a town board or committee, you are now a member of a public body. So what is a public body? Every appointed board and committee, along with town council, is a public body under North Carolina law, as you see from this definition. A public body is assembled whenever and wherever a quorum of its membership is gathered, in person or electronically. North Carolina open meeting laws define official meetings as a meeting, assembly, or gathering together at any time or place, or the simultaneous communication by conference, telephone, or other electronic means of the majority of the members of the public body for the purpose of conducting hearings, participating in deliberations, voting, or otherwise transacting the public business within the jurisdiction. In other words, an official meeting occurs any time that you have a majority or more of the committee members discussing or deliberating on matters related to the work of the board. For this reason, committee members should refrain from using reply all in the email chain to avoid having an unintentional meeting, because email conversations are not open and accessible to the public. Again, please keep in mind that the purpose of an open meeting law is to provide transparency in the decision-making process for the public. There are some general guidelines that all boards and committees must follow according to the rules and procedures that have been adopted by the Town Council. First, board and committee members are required to attend meetings. Please refer to your charter for specifics. If you cannot attend a scheduled meeting, please let your chair and the town clerk know as soon as possible. A quorum or attendance by a majority of members not including vacant seats is also required to hold an official meeting. To take any actions or make decisions, a board or committee must act as a body. This is usually done through a motion and a second of the motion, and then a vote of the members. All boards and committees have term lengths for members. Unless otherwise stated, term lengths are typically 3 years with the eligibility to serve 3 consecutive terms, plus any length of an unexpired term a member may already be serving. Appointments are made by a majority of the council, and reappointments are not automatic, requiring a member to be reappointed by the council. The town clerk's office tracks terms and attendance and is responsible for assisting in the appointment process. Sometimes meetings need to be canceled or postponed because of lack of quorum, lack of subject matter, or inclement weather. Working in concert with the town administration, staff liaison, and town clerk, it is at the discretion of the chair to cancel the meeting. The town clerk will make every effort to notify board or committee members of any cancellation of meetings. Social media has become a primary way for residents to communicate. As a board or committee member, you are recognized as being affiliated with the town. Accordingly, how your actions on social media are interpreted are often very different from residents. The town has a social media policy that provides very specific guidelines for your participation on social media. This policy addresses how employees, volunteers, town board and committee members, and elected officials use their personal or professional social media accounts. The complete policy can be found in your handbook and on the town's board and committee webpage. The social media policy includes a section regarding posting of personal opinion. For all intents and purposes, that should be extended but not limited to public comments, including comments to the media and speaking at public forums. Whenever you identify yourself as a member of a town board, you should include a disclaimer that the opinion is yours and not that of the board or the town of Louisville. If you have any questions about our social media policy, ask your staff liaison. All boards and committees operate under established rules of procedure that are sometimes referred to as bylaws. Rules of procedure are specific to each board and committee and may address things like election of officers, member roles, meeting format, and procedures and public comment. If something is not addressed in the rules of procedure, the suggested rules of procedure for a city council, published by the UNC School of Government, will be followed. Since our incorporation in 1991, our town has had one basic understanding that guides our discussion and decision-making. That understanding is civility. We treat each other with respect and dignity. As a board or committee member, it is essential that you remember we all need to work together, we share a common interest in the town, and most importantly, we can disagree without being disagreeable. Finally, board and committee members are required to abide by all applicable rules and laws concerning ethical behavior. Board members may not solicit or accept gifts in connection with board service, use or purchase town facilities, personnel, equipment, or supplies for private purposes. Members have a duty and are expected to vote except in situations where there is a conflict of interest. A conflict of interest may include substantial financial, personal, or occupational interest. If a conflict exists, members should ask to be recused from deliberations and voting. The conflict of interest policy will be referenced at the start of each meeting. If you are not sure if you have a conflict, contact your staff liaison. Members must remain fair and impartial in order to help maintain the public's confidence in their government.
So, where do we get our direction as a town? Helping to determine that is a big part of my job. I'm Stacy Talbert, and I am the town planner. I am the staff liaison for the Planning Board and Zoning Board of Adjustment and work with our attorney to ensure both boards follow the law. Every 5 years, the town updates its comprehensive plan by involving residents, boards and committees, and various town stakeholders over a many-month-long process. The Planning Board is responsible for overseeing the process, reviewing the draft plan, and providing a recommended plan to Council for its adoption. The comprehensive plan includes action steps that outline the role for staff, boards and committees, elected officials, and other groups in implementing the plan's recommendations. Your role, and that of your colleagues, is to be familiar with the comprehensive plan, paying specific attention to the action steps and recommendations listed in Chapter 7. These action steps identify your board or committee role in leading, supporting, or participating in the implementing actions. Over the next 5 years, it is the town's goal to implement the recommendations of the comprehensive plan whenever possible. Efforts and recommendations to accomplish board and committee goals are summarized and tracked annually in documents developed by you and your members. Your board or committee will prepare and submit a plan of work to Council each year, as well as a status report prior to Council's annual retreat. These documents will provide feedback to the Council about accomplishments, challenges, policy and/or resource recommendations or considerations. Your plan of work should incorporate appropriate recommendations outlined in the comprehensive plan.
Over the last bit of time, we've shared with you a lot of information. We hope that you understand that there are many resources available to assist you in your service to the town. Your first go-to source is the town's website, louisvillenc.net. The website has a lot of useful and interesting information. Please check it out. Each board and committee has its own page with information relevant to your board or committee, such as your charter, past agendas, minutes, member names, and more. We will also provide you with directories so that you have access to your board and committee colleagues, other town volunteers, staff, and council. As your town support staff and board and committee liaisons, we are your frontline resource. We are here to support you as town volunteers. When we collaborate and share ideas, we all do better. And when we do better, our residents benefit. As Oliver Wendell Holmes once said, many ideas grow better when transplanted into another mind than the one where they sprang up. Thank you for viewing the orientation video. We know a lot of information has been given to you in a very short time. If you have any questions regarding any aspect of this video or your volunteer role, please email me at townclerk@louisvillenc.net. In closing, on behalf of the town of Louisville, thank you again for your time and your service. We look forward to working with you.